There we go. Okay, I started a little bit early, I guess. I need to, but there we go. I see millipede news. Do you keep purple ivory millipedes? I don't. I've kept ivories before, but not specifically the purple ones. I think they would be awesome. It'd be fun to keep them. I like ivory millipedes in general. I don't currently have any, but I would enjoy that, I think. Excuse me, 1 second. Oh, I see Isopod Lover is here. Hello, and Frank the Tank. Just 1 second. I started, accidentally started a wee bit early, so I need to get a couple of things that I didn't have ready. But I see we already have 5 people and 4 likes. Pretty good. If, let's see. Yeah, if you can confirm to me that you can hear me, we can get started in just a second. Okay. Lindsay, thank you for confirming that you can hear me. All right. Oh, we lost some of us. And Isopods can hear as well. Very good. So we got some more people back in the stream. Some people popped out for a second. Lunchtime with Russ. There you go. That works. Yeah. I like to be able to do this in the summer because so many people can't really attend the streams. Especially people overseas can't attend the streams when I usually do them. So since I have the freedom to do so in the summer, it is nice to be able to do that for those audience members. Okay, great. So hopefully we're not having the same mic problems we had last time. I'm going to move this enclosure for a minute and switch over to this one. I'll explain what I'm doing too in here. Okay, so those of you who have been around with the channel for a long time, maybe some of you who have not, are aware that I culture a lot of live foods, and that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just finishing this up. Figured I could do this on the stream just for the benefit of people who have never seen this before. Any guesses about what live food I'm about to culture here with this cooked oatmeal and nutritional yeast? I see Joseph Tavir is here, and Frank the Tank. Or maybe Frank was already here, but anyway, happy to have you all here. The food that I am about to subculture is what I call it. Not my term, but it's what I use. Here, let's see if we can see actually what's going on here. Can you see that? All that shimmering? It's kind of a dead giveaway. You can see the material going up the sides of the container. That is pure food for fish. This is these are microworms, which are basically a type of free-living nematode, not a parasitic nematode. Free-living nematode lives on generally a cereal or potato-based culture medium. This is mostly oatmeal with nutritional yeast added, and I often add pea powder, some other different things. It's kind of gross. It is kind of gross, but it is a live food, and that's what we're going to do. So what I do here is I take this oatmeal with nutritional yeast mix, take a scoop of this oatmeal from here, which is covered in the live nematodes, just kind of spread it on the surface there. And that is plenty, so that in a week or so, this culture will be producing lots of worms for my fish. And what I also do, I make sure to save enough of the culture medium to add to this producing culture, and that will extend its lifespan. So this culture will produce a week, maybe 2 weeks longer. You can't let it go too long or it starts to smell really bad. It has a kind of a yeasty smell, but if you let it go too long, it starts to really stink. So that is what we're doing here. And that's pretty easy. And you can continue like that. And then once a culture gets to the end of its lifespan, you can either rinse out the container, start again in that container, or get a new container. As you see, I like to recycle containers. Just put a few vent holes up at the top. You can, I don't know if you can see the vent holes. It's easier to see in this one. There are vent holes on the top and on the sides of the container. Maybe I have just most of my vent holes on this one on the sides or something. I don't know. Oh no, this one just has a looser. This one has a looser lid because it doesn't actually match the container, so it doesn't really need vent holes in that one. So there we go. That's fish feeding. Great for my fish. But now we're going to move on to isopods. And let's see. Microbes versus slime mold. Love it. Okay, Laura Philippe's here. Great. All right. So this enclosure, I'm going to put some excellent specimens of Porcelioscaber piebald. But what I need from you is a little help to help me determine which specimens are going in here. My goal is during this live stream, I want to put 20 or more, at least 20, fantastic specimens of Porcelioscaber orange piebald from Derek Niehaus. He sent me quite a few, and they've had tons of babies, but it is time to cull them and see which ones are working. Are really, really high quality ones. So yeah, as you see, I got this bin ready with some nice decayed leaves. They stink. Nice and good for the isopods. Here we go. So, as I said, during this, I want to collect at least 25 exceptional specimens that are just excellent specimens of orange piebald. That is what I want to do here. So, I'm going to have you help me do that. I'm going to put them in this deli cup. So Frank the Tank, we want specimens that display even coloration, high expression, where they have basically a white midsection and a dark head and dark tail. This is a pretty good example of what I want, but the cleanest specimens possible. So we're going to collect. That's a nice one. It looks like it has a little bit of orange in the body, but in general, we're looking for something like this, but as clean as possible. But I'm going to put this in the possibilities enclosure for now, and then we'll separate them out into the ones where we're really keeping. So, how are we going to do this? Let's see. The best way to do this, I need to move a few things. I think what I'm going to do is have the container here. This is our evaluation bin, or our evaluation container. So I'll have you focused on this. I'll catch a specimen, we'll put it in there, and we can evaluate it. And ones that are high quality, here we go. Do you think that's close enough? I'm going to say for now, probably, but what do you think? Oh, by the way, I need to get to the comments. I want to go to the comments from Patreon. So Mary Goswami commented and said, "Hi Russ, no questions, just a status update on isopods I purchased from you a few months ago. As you know, the orange creams are doing very well. So well, I've split the original colony to have not just the larger original enclosure, but 3 starters in the smaller enclosures. I moved the original zebras to a larger enclosure a while back when they started seeing youngsters, not enough yet to split, but it won't be long now. I followed your advice with clowns and have kept them in the small enclosure, which I'd set up with a moist to dry gradient. A couple of weeks ago there was an offspring, now the clown population is booming. I'll keep them in the small enclosure until the youngsters get a little size on them, and we'll split them using that gradient formula. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'll catch the live in replay land." So, I love it. That is fantastic. That's what I love to hear. All the isopods came in great, doing well. I'm super happy to hear it. And I believe that is the only Patreon comment we got today. So back to the live chat. Okay. So the Lorax is here. Great. There are dots in the middle, little orange towards the end. Very cute specimen, couple dots with very good coloring. Yeah. Okay. So this might be a goes back in the cull bin, or goes into the cull bin. I need to hold on. Been so crazy today. I think I've done a few things a little bit backwards. So just a second. Okay. So the ones that I'm not keeping are in the, not putting in the good bin, I'm going to put in the mix bin, the Porcellio lottery mix bin. Porcellio scaber lottery mix bin. And yeah, totally, Tennyson. We could do that. Now I have a lot of them, so we could make that happen. I don't know if you want to wait till I get better quality specimens or not. One funny thing about this particular morph is that the younger individuals often don't show the trait until they are older, and I'm trying to breed for showing the trait a little better. I feel like this is a pretty nice one. It doesn't have a lot of coverage, but it has clear orange on the head and on the tail. So what do you think about this one? Welcome, by the way, Tennyson and Zero Cool and Atypical Girl. And let's see, is there anybody I missed? Zero Cool, been working on making workshops for isopods around my area. More folks are interested once they find out how to keep bugs. Very cool. So I like this one. Okay, yeah, Tennyson, we can totally do that. I'm okay either way, but I just figured it might be nice to get some. I mean, they're cool now, but there's a lot of culling to do, and it's nice to save that effort if you can. By the way, it was fun going bugging with you last week, Tennyson, and I hope we get to do that again soon. We had fun seeing velvet ants. Maybe you saw on my channel and Tennyson's channel. We had stories about it, which was fun, and I posted about it on YouTube too. We had a lot of fun with velvet ants, and we caught some Coniontis beetles, and I'm trying to remember what else we saw. Those were some of the highlights, the velvet ants and the Coniontis beetles. Let's see. I think I'm getting behind a little bit. I'm trying to catch up on the chat. Okay, Nicholas Long. We chatted a bit on Facebook Messenger earlier today. So good to see you here, Nicholas. Talked about what's happening in the future. Okay, here's a specimen that we can evaluate. So let's see. So let's see, Vink P. Can you please talk at length of mites in relation to isopod bins and bioactive enclosures? Yeah, we can talk a bit about. So Frank the Tank saying you should separate for high coverage orange for front and back and low coverage for front and back. That could be cool. Like here's high coverage, super high coverage. Let's see. So Vink, we're going to talk about mites for a second. So the mites that people really don't want are typically the grain mites, and the grain mites will often show up if there's too much food, or you use too many fresh leaves, things like that. If you don't have enough springtails, those can be issues. Some of the best things to do are put plenty of springtails in the outset before you even put isopods in, and before you even really feed, and get the springtails really going. That can help. Predatory mites can help. Orobatid mites can help. Orobatid mites are a little faster than grain mites, I would say. They're kind of red, and they are not particularly a threat to isopods. In general, they tend to outcompete grain mites, but they're not as big of a pest as grain mites. Grain mites can get to plague proportions, and the orobatid mites aren't so bad. And looking into getting some soil mites that outcompete, that hunt the grain mites can be a really good thing. So I think this one is going in the cull bin for now. And we'll decide if we want to do like Frank said and have a high coverage, low coverage. That would be a great one for high coverage. Chet saw some pine boring beetles in Little Cottonwood Canyon. Some white ones and black ones with long antennae. Cool. So Millipede news. Do you do anything with your leaves for your isopods? Tell me what you mean. I do treat my leaves in various ways. So, for example, the leaves in this enclosure here, I did several things with these, but I basically fermented them in a low oxygen environment, put yeast and some flour and some molasses in the bucket, and the bucket has a valve, a one-way valve in it, so that excess gases can escape, but gases from outside don't go into it. And I let them sit and rot for a while in there. I also did a CO2 treatment where I put dry ice in the bucket on the top, and that helps by, it basically gases a lot of pests, and so I let that sit for a while in there too. And so those are some things I did to treat the leaves, and that still allows microorganisms to do pretty well in there. Yeah, the high coverage one was really pretty. Doesn't really fit the piebald project so well, but it's certainly very pretty. Now this one, on the other hand, the one I'm just about to put in, hold on. Let me pick this up and get it in there. This one, fairly high coverage, but also a little uneven. I don't know, what do you think about this one? Looking worth keeping in the project, or a little bit too uneven? Here, I'm going to lower this down if I can so you can get a better look at it. Yeah, let me know what you think about that one. Oh, so Tennyson, maybe that's a good place to go for the Rosalia species, huh? Cool. The Cottonwood Canyon, Little Cottonwood Canyon. And in Tennyson, yeah, the idea is to do this too with the red edge once I get a big enough population. Right now, the offspring in there are pretty tiny, so it's going to be a little bit, a month or two maybe before I do that. But yeah, definitely, I think I'm going to do that. So this is, I'm going to put this one in here, and I'll let you look at these for a moment while I do that. Let's see, there we go. Okay, I have two really nice specimens so far, but I would like to get, like I said, 20 if possible, 20 or more to go into the new bin. I think I just found a candidate. You can let me know what you think about this one. It's not entirely even, but it's pretty close, and the pale midsection is quite clear, pretty clean. I think that might be worth trying, and then seeing if we can clean that up a little bit. But I'll put it in the, I think I'll put it in the keeper bin for now, and we can always take it out. Because like you're saying, it's, some of you are saying it's uneven. So I'll put it in there for now, and if we can find something better, we'll go with that instead. The idea is to go for really even stock. I'm also looking for stock that expresses the trait early, because a lot of them don't. So if I see a small one that expresses the trait, that's a good sign. That's something I want. Piebald just don't tend to when they're small. Show the trait very well. Ooh, this one looks pretty good. What are you thinking about this one, everybody? I'm saying it's a little uneven too, but not as much as the other one. It's a little spotty, but let's keep it. We got at least one yes there. Here, maybe we can do this. I'm going to try to balance this out so we can see both the keeper and the potential bin, container. And one thing to think about too is when these get older, they tend to get a little dirtier pattern. Like when they're younger adults, they're more clear, and as they get older, it kind of washes out a little bit. How about this one? I think that one's not bad. Tell me what you think. Here's a definite no. This one's going to go in the cull bin. Not enough white. Well, I see that too. That does make sense. Maybe I'll put that in the... Here. Get my paintbrush going here and put it in the not so keep bin. Here's one. This is a good example of one that I'm definitely not going to keep, but just show you what I got. This is going to go in the cull bin because not enough coverage. Too much white, in other words. Low expression of orange. So that's going in the not keep bin. Let's see. Well, here's a promising individual. I'll have to get a closer look at it, but what do you think about this? I think that one looks pretty nice. It's a younger adult. It's pretty even coloring. A little spotty, but not bad. Okay, we'll put it in there. Ooh, I just found what promises to be a really nice one. I have to get a better look at it, but this one looks really good. What do you think about this? I'm thinking that one's almost ideal. Very even. Oh, young lad's here. Oh, we got some yeses here. Yeah, that's what I'm totally looking for right there. Got several yeses. I love that one. That's great. That's exactly what I'm looking for. What do I think the isopods are thinking right now? Probably, whoa. Perhaps it doesn't go beyond that. The ones I'm picking up anyway. What's going on? If we can anthropomorphize just a little bit. Ooh, what do you think about this one? A little speckly, but not bad. Very nice symmetricality. So we got some votes for yes on this one. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm digging it. Look at these. These are looking really nice. When you look at them in aggregate, you get kind of an idea of what a colony would look like. Kind of like orange Riley shrimp, huh? For those of you familiar with Neocoidina shrimp and how they do their thing. The orange Riley, that's what it reminds me of. Okay, I think I know what the answer is going to be on this one, but... what do we think? Yeah, I'm saying no on this one too. It is too low coverage and too spotty as well. Mostly because of the low expression though. And here is another one. This one is big enough that I would expect to see some pattern on it, but I don't. So that one. So Dimitrina, sorry, did I say it right? Dimitrina Spencer. This is Porcelioscaber orange piebald. And we're doing some live culling. Yeah, that one just basically no coverage, no expression, zero expression on the orange side. It just had orange and not any piebald trait. Here's one. What do we think about this one? I think that one's pretty clean. It's got a little bit more on the right side, on the bottom, but we're getting yeses, so let's put that in. Okay. Here, I kind of like doing this where we can check these out when I don't have anything for you, and then when I do, I'll hold it in front of it and see what we've got. Okay. Here's a specimen. What are we thinking about this one? Yeah, we're going to need to give another little spray soon. Keep them hydrated. This one's not horrible, but it's spotty and not very symmetrical. So I'm going to say I'm going to agree with a couple of no's that came in there. That's going to go in the cull bin. And let me just hydrate these folks a little bit. There we go. I'm finding some small ones that are showing some expression. Ooh, this is a really nice small one. It's very small, but it has the perfect expression, and it's so small that I'm excited that it has the expression at all, because they often don't when they're this small. So this one's tiny, but it has a good coverage, good expression, so I'm thinking this one should go into the yes. Anybody else say yes? I see Frank the Tank and Mouse Rat and Atypical Girl. I'll say yes. Let's put it in. Okay, small, but it's got the stuff we're looking for. It's got the traits. So many of the ones at that age do not, so good to see. I'm really hoping we can get 20 during this stream. We're almost halfway through the stream and it's going fast. Okay, here's another small one. This one has the pattern and it's small. It has some piebald, but it's not very even at all. What are you thinking? Got some, yeah, Chet says yes, Millipede News no, Tennyson no, Frank the Tank no. Keep in mind, everyone, we are keeping these. I'm keeping all of them. I'm just not putting them in the same bins. So I think the no's have at that time. We had some yeses for that one, and I can see why. But let's see. Ooh, that one's interesting looking. Hold on. Sorry, I got to get this one. I might get 2 or 3 at the same time with my paintbrush. We're going to see if I can get them all. One of them got away, but I got a couple in here. Okay, just look at the 2 largest one in here. Sorry, my paintbrush is getting in front of the camera. That's not great. Okay, so I'm thinking that the smaller one here that's running, possibly yes. The larger one, probably a no, because the pattern is uneven. What are you thinking? And you see the smaller ones don't have the pattern at all, and they may show it eventually. So smaller one, yes. Bigger one, no. Is that what we're thinking? Yeah, looks like that's what people are saying. So let me see if I can get this bigger one out into the other bin. I'm just going to put these wee ones back into the main bin because they're too young to express the trait. And this one's going in. So far, how many do we have? We have about 10 in here, approximately, something like 10. And I'm hoping for 20 at least to get this other bin started. It's much better to start a bin with a 20 count than with a 10 count. It's so much faster. So this one looks decent, but coverage is uneven. What are we thinking? We're getting some no's. Okay, that's going in the cull bin. By the way, everyone, we have some 22 people on the stream, 13 likes. If you would hit that like button and invite some more people to the stream that way, that would be fantastic. This helps people discover the stream. Okay, we got some undecideds on that one. What about this one? Okay, we just got another like. Anybody else throw those likes together at the same time? That really helps. So, all right. Looks like we're in consensus on that. This one, what are we looking at? This one, we're getting some no's. I think I agree. It's too uneven. The pattern is too uneven. Don't need that. Okay, I'm trying to dig through here without disturbing too much because you don't want to damage anybody. There's tons of little ones in the substrate, but okay, here's one. This is a smaller specimen. Not too bad. Myra's here. Or is it Mira or Myra? Okay, we're getting no's on that one. I would tend to agree. Okay. Ooh, this is I'm not sure about this one. I have to see it close up and get your opinion on this one. This is a new one. We're getting some yes. Oh, thank you, Myra. I appreciate that. I'm glad to see you here in the stream. Oh, we're about evenly matched here on this one, I think. Oh no, it looks like we have one more no. And we'll go through the no bin and the yes bin at the end and see if there are any we need to move. So it's not a huge worry. If we mislabel something now, we can always adjust it as time goes on. Okay, I've got an answer for this one already. What do you think? Yeah, I think you're right, Frank. The orange coverage wasn't good enough. And the orange coverage is not good enough there either. Ooh, here's an interesting specimen that might be worth looking at. Now that I see it in close up, I think I agree with Lindsay, but what do other people say? Yeah, most people are saying it's too much. Most people are saying that one's not working for us. Okay, and you know, I do get some specimens like these two I'm going to show you, or like this one I'm going to show you. I'll show you another one in a second. This one looks like an orange ember or something. It's really not got anything as far as piebald. It's cool, I agree, like Lindsay said. It's cool, but it's not gonna fly. Doesn't pass muster because there's no piebald trait evident in that specimen. It's big enough that it should be showing the trait by now. What I'm really trying to keep my eye on is nice, even looking specimens that are small and they have the piebald trait already, because like I said, that trait is uncommon. It's fairly uncommon in small specimens. So the more we can have small specimens that have the trait, the more I hope that tendency is heritable. Okay, how about this one? Look at it from the other side here. It's kind of minimal and it's a little uneven. Yeah, we'll put that in the no bin for now. Pull out some other specimens here. One thing to think about is I have to see how many specimens I can get, and I have to keep them pretty clean. What about this one? I think it's better than the last one, but I don't know. Oh, mouse rat, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh look, now we have 22 people and 21 likes. We've definitely caught up a bit. Oh, that one just dove into the the keepers. It really wants to be in the keeper bin. I'm gonna have to move it, so I just manually removed it there. But look how cool these look together, don't they? They look really cool. And I caught it. Like Alicia says, I need to take it out, and I did. I don't want to keep it in there if it's not going to follow the breeding plans, and I'll just put it in with the Lotto mix. These are great for Lotto mix because as they reproduce, you'll get some interesting things going on. Okay, here's another specimen. So Paul, large marge morphs, we are culling the Porcelia scaver orange piebald for certain traits. The traits we're looking for, they need to look like these specimens in here. They need to have orange at the anterior portion of the body near the head, at the posterior portion of the body on the pleon. They need to be orange, and they need to be fairly pale in the mid-body. And that's what these specimens, as you can see, that's what these specimens look like. That's what we're going for, but a lot of the isopods in this bin don't look like that. Like this one, just basically orange. We don't want that trait to move to the next generation. So we're going through and culling. Some have low expression, some have high expression, some are like nearly solid orange, some or just solid orange, and some are nearly solid white. What about this one? It's younger. By the way, if any of you are wondering, I got this stock from Derek Niehaus. He's the one who performed the cross, if I recall. He got hold of some piebald, which Kyle at Roach Crossing was working with, and crossed at one of the orange lines. And he thinks there may be some orange koi in there too from the original orange line he used to cross. And that's why some of these are not very pure in terms of appearance, but that's what we're trying to work with, and seeing if we can get enough of the correct phenotype, then, continued culling, we can get it to work. This is an interesting looking one. Definitely has the piebald trait. But what do you think about this one? Yeah, too much orange, like Dimitrina says. But it is very cool. It almost looks like an orange koi. And it's kind of diluted orange, I feel like. Interesting. Cool looking, but it's going in the different bin. It's going in the morph mix, the lottery mix bin. That's what Okay, looking for more specimens here that I can capture and evaluate. Ooh, it's getting a little harder to find pied specimens in here, but I'm working on it. I'm doing my best. Pulling out the best ones. So many of them are just young, and there's that going on. So any in here worth considering? I feel like the one on the left right now, maybe. It's probably the best candidate, but it does have some inclusions of orange on the white areas. Yeah, I think those are all pretty far off from what we want, huh? I've got to use my paintbrush here. Get that one detached. Because these are looking super nice compared, huh? Super nice. And if we just have 10, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I would really like to have more than 10 to get this colony going, but, it is what it is. How about this one? It definitely has some at the front and some at the back, and it's pretty clean on the inside. JH, welcome. Way too little, too low expression. Kind of cool looking though. It's so clean. The white is so clean compared to a lot of the others. We're getting some yeses and some nos. It really doesn't have that much orange. I'm just wondering if the high piebald expression will balance out some of the others. And the clean white. Just thinking about it. I can always take it out. I'm going to put it in the keep bin for now and take it out if needed. Because in the last 10 minutes or something, we'll go through both bins and see if there's anything we want to change or correct. So many of these are really young ones in here. There's tons of them. I'm sure there are a ton of adults that buried themselves when I came to play in the bin too. That always happens. Ooh, I think I just found a really nice one. But it's small, so I'm going to need your help to evaluate it. It was running very fast. Woo! Yeah, it's a fast one. But it looks clean and it looks like it has good coverage. It's a very small one too, so it has the expression at a young age. Getting lots of yeses on that one, huh? Okay. Ooh, here's another one. I don't think that one looks as good, but We'll take a look at it, if I can catch it. It's young, so that's a point in its favor. Very tiny. What are we thinking about this one? Not as good as the last one, I think. Looks paler, but that may just be its age. Its head has hardly any orange on it. It's got orange antennae and orange head, but it's not a lot of coverage. We got some yeses and some nos for this one. Looks like mostly nos for now, so put that in the no bin, but we'll review it. Yeah, that one looks super good, that little one. It's like perfect. And it's so small for that much coverage, which is fantastic. Okay, I think I found another possibly good one. I can't see it very well, so we need to put it under the lens and get your opinion. Not as clean as it looked when it was smaller. Still, not bad. We're getting a lot of yeses, a couple of nos. I think it's evenly, it's between nos and yeses for this one. Oh, we got a tiebreaker. That was a no. Okay, that's going in the other bin. Yeah, I agree. Atypical girl, the lines weren't particularly clean. It was, had some good contrast, but not very clean. Ooh, this one's tiny and has some expression, but I can't really tell without looking more closely. What do we think? It's minuscule, smaller than any of the others that we've looked at so far. Pixel pattern to it, yeah, kind of did. Let's see, we got a couple of yeses, we got a no. Wait for a couple of more people to chime in on this one. See what you think. Frank is undecided. Like how it is rugged. It does have some inclusions, I think, trying to focus on it. It's really tiny, so focusing on it is a little bit more complex. Yes for now. Okay, well, we got more yeses than nos for that one, so that one goes in. Keeper bin for the project. And for those of you who are coming in later, doesn't mean we're disposing of any of these. The ones that we're not keeping are either going back into the general piebald bin, or if they're really off base, they're going into the lottery mix bin to add some variety to that. Okay. True, good point, Frank. Here's one. Corridor, I diagnosed that to be an isopod. Very true. Okay, we're getting a no. Sometimes I just put some obvious ones in here for fun to just show you this is a fairly large individual that should be expressing pied characteristics ideally, but it's not, so it should not go in this bin. It is pretty though, so that's going in the lotto mix bin where it will be great in there, as opposed to these other specimens. I'm going to pull out a couple more here. In a month or two, when the specimens in the little ones have grown out, we'll have to do this again, but I see another one that might be worth looking at. Okay, the big one obviously is not going in, but that small one doesn't look great either, does it? That one just needs to go in the lotto mix bin, but this little one has some of the trait, but it's not expressing it very, very well. What do you think? This one. Millipede news? Why what? Too much orange. Yeah, agreed. Too much orange. I'm finding a lot of those. Why am I showing all orange? Sometimes, like this one, you can see that it has the pied trait, but I can't really tell if it has the pied trait as well until I put it under magnification. I mean, it's easier to evaluate if I put it under magnification like this and have people chime in on it. So this one obviously has the trait, but it's poor expression. So this will just go in the mulatto mix. Okay. Ooh, here's one that might be worth looking at. There's one big one, or no, they're both tiny. Oh, I actually got 3. I don't think any of those are ready to evaluate yet. They're too small. Too small. All right, so we have these now. I think we're going to take a minute and look through the ones that we have and decide where they're going, okay? Once again, so over here, are there any here that you see and you say, oh no, this one we need to keep, this one needs to go back in the bin? Let me use my paintbrush, kind of separate them out a bit. See if there's any of them you see, oh, that's clearly a step above the others in terms of its piebald qualities. I think all of these were pulled out for a reason, but if you see anything that just stands out to you, let me know. I feel like that one right there looks pretty nice. It does have some orange inclusions, but it looks nicer than a lot of the rest of them. This one here. So we could give it another look. I'm going to pull a couple more out. We'll take a look at them. They're all kind of panicking now, though. So some of you are saying there are some that need to be reevaluated. Trying to locate those. Darn, that one got away from me. Where was it? Sometimes we just have to look at them up close. I think the closer I look at them, the less I am inclined to include any. Because then I see their traits that don't fit. Let's look at these a bit. So sweet honey, the goal is to find specimens that look like this, where you have clear orange markings on the head, clear orange markings on the tail, and not a lot of orange inclusions in the midsection of the body. The midsection of the body should be that pale gray or white color. That's kind of what we're looking for. And we're trying to get the cleanest orange piebald specimens for the next generation. Some of them, all of these are pretty close to having those traits. I think we have like 12 or 13 of them in here. Some of them do have some inclusions of orange. This one has a little bit uneven piebald pattern, for example. But in general, that's what we have here. That's what we're looking for. So, as I get ready to switch these over, I'm taking one last look in the main bin to see if there are any specimens that might be worth evaluating. But I'm not seeing a whole lot right now because, like I said, so many of them are babies, so many of them are buried right now, hiding. But do you have any requests for something else you would like to look at after we transfer these to their new bin, which is what we're about to do. I'm going to transfer them to their new bin. All right, over here, the highest quality piebalds. I want to involve you in that process here. Got some nice fresh leaf litter. Well, freshly rotting, crushed, decayed leaf litter that smells bad and is lovely for them. We're going to move these over. So here we go, paintbrush time. Whoa! Oh shoot. That is not supposed to happen. Hopefully I didn't damage anybody. I don't think I did. That's the one problem with these the plaster stuff. It can be a little loose and cause problems, but I don't think I damaged anybody. I think we're okay. That was a little scary though. There they go into their new bin. Sorry. I'm glad my microphone's working better this time around. Last time people said it had problems. I did purchase another microphone, which is arriving tomorrow. But it seems this time our microphone's doing better. Now, I'm going to grab another bin, just a second. Looks like it needs some hydration, so taking care of that. Set this bin off to the side. And gonna get the lottery mix bin up there. See what kind of specimens we have in here. See, there are various colors and forms in here. Just seeing what we got up near the top that I can easily see. But this is where where these are going. When someone orders the lottery mix, I try my best to make sure they get a good mix of things. I'll even add things from other bins to make sure that they get a lot of variety, and that variety should continue for many generations, as long as they're, the makeup of the bin can make a big difference. Okay, so done with that. See if we can look at some millipedes. Wonder if some Spirostreptus are up at the surface we check out. Should we check that out? Spirostreptus species 1. Or I just got some from Tennyson and Raceland. Tennyson brought them and Raceland was raising them, if I remember how it works correctly. Brought me some new millipedes recently. Maybe we can take a look at those and see how they're looking. Ooh, look at that. Anybody recognize that species? So thanks again to Tennyson and Raceland for making this possible. And I'm going to put some fish food in there, some fish flake. Tennyson was telling me that they find that they can be predatory on their own young if they don't have some fish flake in there. And I'm going to make sure they get some. Got a big pile of leaf litter in there for them, keeping about 75% moist and 25% dry. Yeah, it kind of does look like a caterpillar. That one buried itself, and I don't want to upset things too much. But there's babies in there. Check it out. There's a baby one. They've been breeding well for Tennyson and Raceland. And so there's plenty of young ones in here. I'm seeing some right here. You can see some baby ones. I'm glad we got to see that adult because it was, you know, it's fully colored up and everything. It's really amazing looking. The babies are cute too. And there's lots. Look how many there are. So many in there. So you're close, Frank. You're really close. The species name for these is Desmoxites planata. Desmoxites planata. So, oh, you had it there, Frank. You were right. So, very cool, huh? Let's see if I can spot it. I don't want to mess up the babies. They look like they're doing really well. And I don't want to upset anything. I'm just want to see if I can see an adult. But there's so many ages in here, different ages. I really like it. Seeing the different ages. I don't want to dig around too much because I don't want to upset anything. That's definitely something you have to be careful with millipedes, especially molting ones, but even when they're this small and this young, you know. I should ask Tennyson and Raceland what species of springtail that is in there, because it doesn't look like the same one that I have. Okay, now you're staring at nothing. I don't mean to do that. Let me show you something else. We only have a couple minutes, but we can take a look at this bin. See if I can share some of these. This should be a fun. This is a fun species. I just have to find a spot where they're hanging out. Here's a few of them hanging out. Woo! Silisticus convexus, Ukraine pied. My favorite form of Ukraine pied. Here's a bunch more of them under here. I love the patterning on these because there's so much variety. You have some that are high white, some that are high natural color, but almost all of them have some markings. Unlike so many things. Like Porcelia scabrous dalmatian often has negligible markings, like negligible dark markings, almost all white. Sometimes they have really great ones, but these are fun. Let's see, it looks like the soil, the substrate is a little bit too dry in some spots, so they're not hanging out there as much. I have a much bigger bin of these too. Let me see if I can get that over here. Or actually, you know what? I'm going to show you what Chet brought to me. I don't know if Chet's still in the stream. He was earlier. This is a bin of isopods from him. They've been doing fantastically well, breeding like crazy. I've sold some already, but let's take a look. Yeah, the Ukraine pied are fairly fast. So these are orange Dalmatian. I really like these, but sometimes you get some that just have little orange flecks on their body, like these, and basically no other orange markings. Some of them look almost white, and then some of them look really fantastic with like excellent coverage. But look, you look under this monkey pod and it's like pure babies. And you can see some of these have decent orange markings and some of them have very few. But oh no, Frank the Tank! Did it eat the house centipede eat all of your Philosium oscorum? Yeah, so Chet, they've been doing fantastically well, breeding like crazy, as you can see. So thank you again for these. I really appreciate the fact that they breed quickly because they're a great option for a bioactive enclosure or a feeder or both. Yeah, I see what you mean, and that may be partly the lighting, mouse rat. The glowingness may be partly the lighting, but they are kind of gorgeous. Let's see. And there's tons in this bin. They're like everywhere, all through the leaves, all through the hide spots everywhere. They're just all over the place. See, here's an individual that, you know, it stretches the definition of Dalmatian, but there is a little bit of orange. There's some tiny orange flecks on there that are hard to deny. So it's still technically a Dalmatian. But some of those look like they're almost pure white, especially among the younger individuals. Anyway, I really like these. There are pods that I've struggled to keep. See, look at that one. Look at the flecks on that one. It's almost all flecks, like freckles. I had trouble with Porcellio magnificus. I got them to breed. They produced a lot of young for me, and then my colony crashed. That's one example. I have other examples too, but that's one of them. So, sweet honey, good question. Porcellio expansus I kept for years successfully, and then my colony crashed. So I've had problems with those. Let's see. Somebody was just saying something. Who was it? Oh yeah, you might have to keep very cool. So Dimitrina, these are super easy to keep. These are probably one of the easiest isopods to keep, no question. They're among the easiest. I wouldn't say that they're necessarily easier than other easy ones, but in my top 5 recommendations for new keepers for easy isopods, this would be in that list. So it's just kind of hard to say whether, for example, Porcellio pruinosus or this species is easier, or dairy cows are easier. You know, all of those they're super easy. So I can't say which one is easiest, but they're just as easy as, you know, these others on my top list of easy. Main thing about these is they're not terribly dry tolerant, so you want, well, with just any isopod, you want to make sure there's a hydration station available at any given time. But these will tolerate short dry periods less well than some others. But it is time to go. I stayed a little longer than I thought I was going to, but I don't mind. I enjoyed hanging out with everybody. I appreciate your help as I got that bin culled out, and hopefully we'll have some awesome Porcellio scaber orange piebald in the future as a result of that work that we put in, and as a result of the generosity of Derek Niehaus for sending me the original stock. So thank you, everybody, and we'll catch you later. Have a good one.